Delta with Mamode Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
How can we have peace without justice?
Plus Politics. It's not just another political conversation, it's about keeping you in the know. The relevant interviews, asking the tough questions to those that matter. Get the answers you need. Does it mean that the people who were injured, people who were shot at, those who were involved in that stampede are not going to get justice?
It is unfortunate, it is sad that we have a government of deaf and dumb.
Analysis from top experts.
The last election was not really an election.
We feel that Obasanjo has a very special place in his heart for hating Ijaw people.
I think it really boils down to two things. One, trust and accountability.
Plus Politics, every weeknight at 7 p.m. on Plus TV Africa.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect them. If you no talk, then go beat you. Now 2,500 they pay.
For me, I wanted to change that culture. I didn't believe that until you see a white man or you see a foreigner in the kitchen before you can believe that, you know, good food is going to come out of that kitchen.
Youth groups and stakeholders drum support for Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. And as the world celebrates another International Women's Day, we discuss breaking the bias women experience in their lives. Well, this is Plus Politics. I am Mary Anna Kwon. In February of 2022, the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, denied plans to declare his presidential ambition ahead of the 2023 general elections. However, this hasn't stopped several groups from been drumming support for the pastor-turned-politician. Some of the groups have also endorsed him, saying he has met the criteria needed to create a new Nigeria. We speak to one of such groups, Citizens Unite. Well, it is a group that claims to be non-partisan and believes that the Vice President is the best man for the job. Violet Anirobi is a member of Citizens Unite and she joins us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, Violet.
Thank you, Marianne.
It's interesting to see that young people are throwing their weight. Normally, I would see a much older person trying to drum support for a candidate. But tell us why Citizens Unite, why you're choosing the Vice President. I mean, this is a man that has not necessarily come out to say he wants to run for the office. So why him?
Yeah. I will answer that question by saying, how did it get here where you're asking me why him? Because why not him? He's the best candidate, actually. As Citizens Unite, our core values, meritocracy, zero tolerance for corruption, non-partisan. So all these things, inclusivity, detribalized and non-biased. And we feel that the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, encapsulate all of these core values. That's why as Citizens Unite, we're endorsing him and we are clamoring that.
Vice President, there's a lot to unpack. This group is non-partisan, but then you are advocating for a man who is a member already of a political party, who is a sitting Vice President.
Yes.
So you chose to endorse a person who's a member of a political party. Does that resonate with all the people who are in your group? Because you're non-partisan, meaning that all your members may belong to different political parties. So how does that work?
No, we are all non-partisan. Members of Citizens Unite, the ESCOs, the core ESCOs of Citizens Unite were non-partisan. We came together, we looked at all the contestants, all the people that are coming up everywhere, and we said, okay, who is the best person for Nigeria? Who can help us take us to the next level? I just finished my master's degree from Coventry University, and a lot of my classmates don't want to come back to Nigeria. They rather do different things over there than come back home. And I came back because I believe that 2023 is either a do or die affair for Nigeria. We either get it right or we fail completely. And so I'm here now to ensure that we get it right in 2023. And that's what brought all of us together. We have same spirit, we have same goal, and we want Nigeria to make it beyond 2023. That's why we are endorsing the Vice President.
What are those characteristics that the Vice President has displayed or could have displayed that would have made you think that he's the man for this job? I mean, I'm sure you don't have to educate me as to his precedents, but what made you choose him over many other people who may have or may not be interested in this job?
Number one is meritocracy. His lifestyle, he exemplifies it.
In what ways?
This is someone who was who became a lawyer in 1981, and then he spent 10 years before he became a professor. He was a lecturer 10 years before he became a professor, and then he became a son. He worked under Bola Ajibola. So who was his, he was a legal advisor to Bola Ajibola. He was the one that discovered him. And then afterwards, he was also discovered and became the Attorney General of Lagos State. So this is someone who has climbed in different phases of his life. He has become like a master, like a minstrel of everything. He was a lecturer, he rose to become a professor. And then he was...
There are many professors in the country. There are many people who came from grass to
not many
grace.
people are professors, even after
there are many professors in Nigeria.
No, but not many people become professors in law after they are lecturers. So not many people do that. And then he became...
So does Nigeria need a law professor to lead us? Is that the problem that Nigeria has?
No, I'm talking about meritocracy. I said he exemplifies it.
Okay.
So this is someone, if you check his lifestyle over the years, so this is what he has become. He was a lawyer he was a lecturer for 10 years before he became a professor. And then he was a lawyer for years before he became a son. And now he's the Vice President. And we are saying, okay, if this person has exemplified all of this, in Nigeria, we want a situation where a nobody becomes a somebody without knowing anybody, just because you are worth it and because you know your onions, and then you merit that position, you're giving it not because you know somebody. So that is the Nigeria we envision. And also zero tolerance for corruption. That's also one of our core values.
Let's look at the president's, the Vice President. He's the Vice President. He's the Vice President to a president who's leading us now. How well do you think?
A lot of things that happened. He fired the then Director General of the State Security Service. So there were a lot of movements. The Naira crash. So a lot of people, my friends, my colleagues, all of us are saying if someone can do such, go through such, what's it called, progress within 51 days, how well do you think he will do in 4 years?
Well, but he's still part of this government. Why have we not been able to see all of that progress in the 2 tenures that how well this administration has fared, and why I, you, and anybody else who's watching should want to give the Vice President a ticket?
Okay, this administration has done very well when it comes to infrastructure, train, road transport. He has done extremely well. When it comes to corruption, he has reduced it dramatically. So yes, he has. And so when you look at all the antecedents from this present administration, you only
Need
wonder
I tell you where we are in the corruption index? I mean, I'm talking about the latest one. We're nowhere close to what you're talking about. So I'm trying to understand where you got your statistics from.
Oh, presently, my statistics...
And how are you measuring it?
Presently, what we do is that most of the present of corruption
cases still hanging on their heads. But the moment they move to the APC, those cases have gone cold. Is that how the corruption cases have been reduced to its minimum, almost non-existent in your word?
Oh, no. The corruption,
okay.
One thing most people need to understand is that Nigeria is a federal republic, and then we practice presidential system of government. And then in presidential system of government, there's the legislative arm, and then there's the judiciary arm, there's the executive arm. So the judiciary arm, we have a lot, is unfortunate to say, but that is where we have most of the problem. There's the judiciary and the legislative arm of the government of Nigeria. That's where we have most of the problem. The judges are very corrupt. The legislators are very corrupt. So most people tend to think that if you read through the Nigerian Constitution, of course, you know, some things behind closed doors, they close those cases. And then the federal government is also pursuing those cases, but the judge says it's adjourned until next year.
So you're telling me that the Buhari administration is saintly, but the National Assembly and the judiciary is corrupt?
I'm not saying it is saintly. I am saying that the problem with Nigeria, which most people need to understand, is the legislative arm of government and the judiciary arm of government. So those two, once we've been able to deal with those two pillars, we'll be able to move Nigeria to the next level. Most times, it's not ever necessarily that the executive arm of government is actually the legislators. You put bills in place and then they disapprove it. They just come there, they sit there every time, they collect. During the COVID
the members of the National Assembly, 80% of them are members of the president's party. Why do you think they would want to work against the president or the executive?
Because it's individual. You've noticed most times that what the legislators do, they fight for their personal pockets. Most importantly, a typical example was during the COVID lockdown. So you had a lot of people were saying Nigerians needed money, Nigerians were suffering because of the lockdown. And then what the legislators were thinking of was getting themselves in new cars. So in this case, you have individuals. Individuals are different from the party. The party is APC, which Buhari comes from. But these individuals are legislators. They are in the party, but they are also legislators. So they fight for their own selfish interests and not for the interest of the people of Nigeria. That's the problem.
Interesting. So the government of President Buhari flagged has, because to be a Nigerian president, you must be someone that resonates with every other part of the country. Don't forget, we're also having the conversation about zoning, and many people are advocating for an Igbo president. Do you think that the vice president does stand a chance against all of these other people, especially the people in the Southeast who are asking for fair representation?
Well, the APC has brought out their zoning calendar, and actually the presidency is zoned to the Southwest. So I'm from Southeast, but unfortunately it's not our turn yet. So I'm clamoring...
How so? Where did you get this information from, that it's not your turn yet? But when has it been the turn of the Southeast?
This time around is the turn of the Southwest.
Where is it
APC,
written that
APC
it's the turn? It will be the turn of the Southwest or Southeast at some point.
Southeast. It's not yet turn for Southeast.
How do you know this? Where did you get this information from?
It's not the turn for the Southeast because it's online. The zoning, the APC have zoned the.
Oh, so this is according to the APC. It's not the turn of the Southeast.
APC.
That's what I was trying to get.
The APC, the zoning for the APC, the presidency goes to the Southwest.
I see.
Yes. So the Southeast, I'm from Southeast, is not the turn for the Southeast.
When is it going to be the turn of the Southeast?
Oh, that is determined by the party. Citizens United, we are not moved by sentiments. We are moved by qualities. What does this person represent? So even if you're from Southeast...
So you're telling me that in the whole of the Southeast, there is nobody who possesses a quality for a presidential enough to lead this country. This is what you're saying. As Citizens Unite.
The person we have seen...
Jump on this bandwagon. And judging from what happened in October of 2020, the fact that those people, the people that were hit, as the government that in the first instance made these young people hit the streets to protest for bad governance. How do you hope to do that?
No, it wasn't a protest for bad governance.
Please, oh yes, it did. It metamorphosed. It started as
it was a protest.
Police. Let me educate you. It started as hold on. Yes. It started as a protest against a rogue police unit,
yes,
against police brutality. And then, of course, it metamorphosed into end bad governance, because if we had good governance, we would not have a rogue police unit killing young people. So again, how do you intend to send this message home to these young people?
How do you end bad governance for a president who was democratically elected? Are we trying to turn us into a military era? So a president was governance in a democratically standing state, the democratically elected president. All you have to do is use your thumbs. When it's 2023, that's why we are clamoring. When it's 2023, if you feel that the president, Yemi Osinbajo, we are praying that he comes out and then he wants to be the president for 2023. If you feel he's not it for you, use your thumbs. So if you feel someone else is it, use your thumbs.
But before then, how do you get people? Because you want him, you're clamoring for him to come out.
We are clamoring for him.
So if he does come out, how do you get young people to back him?
That's why I said we have an app. We created an app. It's called PlusTvAfrica app. It's on Apple Store, and Google Play Store. So what we want to do is give young people a voice. So
how about those who are not tech savvy? It's not every young person. The guys who were looting, who took over that protest and made it become smartphones.
Yes, smartphones.
Or telephones.
Smartphones, not telephones, smartphones. So we've done our findings, we've done our statistics. I don't know if you're on TikTok, all you just have to do. Yes, 70%.
I'd like to see that poll.
Yes, a lot of applications that you have on your smartphones, not only TikTok. So in this case, we've done our research, 70%, and these are the people we want to reach. So on the app, you can have a one-on-one with the vice president. We hope that you have you can share your questions, whatever burden you have for the nation, or whatever questions you feel that he should answer. We'll post it there, or you can send a video of yourself, and then we'll ensure that those videos get to him, and then he gets to answer your questions. We also intend to hold virtual town halls on the mobile app, as well as create the digital rally using the mobile app. So we want to take things differently. We want to do things differently because we are young, we are the youth, and the next generation is online. So that's what we are.
Violet Anirabi is a member of Citizens Unite, and I want to say thank you for being part of the conversation.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you all for staying with us. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we discuss women. Yes, it's International Women's Day, and how can we break the bias against the women vote? Stay with us.
It's scary, isn't it? Putting yourself out there, ignoring the voices telling you you can't. Moments like these are when your fight or flight response kick in. Will you step aside? Or will you go for it? After all, what's the worst that could happen? So, keep trying. Don't stop. Don't give up. Push harder. Give it everything you've got. Because Because nothing is really impossible when you dig deep. Believe in yourself and go for it. Aladana, available in many variants to nourish you every step of the way.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamude Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on PlusTvAfrica as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamude Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
Marvers, teachers, managers, multitaskers, resourceful, caring, and more. That's the woman in personal, social, and communal happy.
Today is International Women's Day, and its theme for this year is breaking the bias. Already, Nigerian women seem to be doing just that, as members of the House of Representatives have just rescinded their decision on 3 bills earlier rejected in the process of the 1999 Constitution Amendment. Now, the bills are on indigenship, citizenship, and 35% affirmative action for women. The bills will be recommended for consideration and will be part of the second batch of the constitutional amendment to be presented in a couple of months. Now, this development comes as women stormed the National Assembly today, lamenting the rejection of the women-related bills. Well, joining us to discuss this, Ankyo, it's interesting that we're at this juncture. For some women, if not most Nigerian women, this is a win, because I remember last week the reactions that I was getting from women when the bills were thrown out. In fact, it took the First Lady and some other women to come into the National Assembly for this bill, and they all left very disappointed. Aside from the fact that this bill has been rescinded, why do you think it's taken the Nigerian woman so long to be able to be heard in terms of these kinds of issues, bills when it comes to indigenship? I mean, a Nigerian man is allowed to give his wife indigenship, but a woman who's married to an outsider cannot do that. So it seems like the woman keeps taking the backseat. Why has it been that for so long?
Good evening, everyone. I believe it has been so for so long, simply because there is a lot attached to it. We have cultural issues in Nigeria and in Africa. We have religious issues and customary things. Women are not supposed to be here. Women are not supposed to be there. You should be seen and not heard. If you recall, in 2016, the issue of women belonging to the other room and belonging in the kitchen and stuff like that at an international forum by no less than the president of Nigeria. I mean, when women are faced with this type of oppression, if you like, within the political system, when attitude like that is coming from the president, you begin to wonder what it is that is going to become of women in politics. And also, like I said, women, we have all these cultural biases where it seems as if a woman is in politics or is in activism, she's got to be single, perhaps she has no husband, perhaps, and if she does, maybe the husband is dead or divorced, because it seems as if women can't really assert themselves without actually having meanings read, external meanings and derogatory meanings read into it. These are some of the obstacles that women face when they go into politics. So I'm not surprised that, first of all, women are rising up now and to the point where we're having a situation where the men are going to step back. Look, we had bills that were presented on behalf of women. Those bills were for the benefit of women. Now, when that is presented in the National Assembly,
Mama Barbara, let me push you a bit. As we see today, I'm sure that you're aware, most of the CEOs in Nigerian banks are women. Women are breaking the glass ceiling in these regards, who are the one that brings people together to vote, just as Ms. Briggs has said. So why is it so difficult for us to break grounds in the political system? Aside from the cultural bias, could women be also part of
time? And it requires the people concerned, in this case, us women, to raise up our voices collectively and ask for our rights. You see, even in developed economies like the United States, they are still trying to get civil rights for Black people, extending rights to minority groups. So this is a journey. And the time has come in 2022 where we women are speaking with one voice to say, not just in the boardroom, but in the political sphere, we want to have a seat at the table. Now, some women have already broken the bounds, as you've said, but it is important. And what we want now is for that as a right to our energies, our finances, our resources towards what we want. Today, I have an aspirant for House of Rep in my constituency who is a woman. Today, I have a woman governor aspirant in my state, Ambassador Koyotoyo, amongst the dozen other men who are aspiring for the governorship of Cross River State. So increasingly, with this voice that we've come out with, men who recognize the important role that women play. So that's what we're going to do going into 2023. Through the political parties and through our communities, we will do that.
Great. Back to you, Ms. Briggs. She talked about mentoring, and I want to push you on that. You are one of the strongest voices in the Niger Delta. We saw you push for young people in the thick of the Niger Delta militancy. Are there young women that you are mentoring? Because you see, like I said, a lot of young women are yet to understand or come into the fullness of their purpose, and they need some hand-holding. Is there a fora in, let's say, for example, River State or Bayelsa State, where young women are groomed for leadership? I mean, we see these things happen in other places, but is there such a thing? Because we also see young men being groomed for leadership, but how many young women are being handheld or taught what to expect in the future and how to be ready for it?
It's one thing to be to groom either young ladies. We do agree that it is about time for youths to get to the table, to take a seat at the table. But then you have to wait until I am done with what I am doing. That means that if I'm 70-something years old and I'm aspiring to be the president of Nigeria, and I need the support or the galvanizing of youths to support me, that is very much okay. But then you have to wait until I'm maybe 80-something years old. Now, for me, I don't call that grooming anybody. It's a form of deceit. Now, in my own process, you referred to the Niger Delta, and in River State, Bayelsa State, I find definitely in the past few decades that I've been at this, that we are in a struggle within a struggle. Women are in a struggle within a struggle. They are in a struggle even for fellow women to take them seriously. We are in a struggle where our folks, our husbands, our brothers, our uncles, our fathers don't take us seriously. So in my own case, I came from a background of being encouraged to be whom I have become today. But how many people, how many young ladies have had that sort of opportunity? So we do need to start with our young women, starting from primary school age, to make them to understand that they need to be strengthened in the way they think for themselves. They need to acquaint themselves with justice, what is right and what is wrong, what is a truth and what is a lie, and that they have to participate in the role of nation building. They have to participate in the role of becoming whatever you want to become in the future. So it's an uphill battle for women. It is an uphill battle for young people today because of the strategies they must take, which is sacrificial, and they have to be very careful not to compromise what they are aiming for. It's so easy to find yourself in a compromising circumstances and situation, even before you know actually that you finally find yourself in an entrapment, if you like. But it is possible. I have come to realize that it is possible, first of all, to be able to orientate our youths, our young women particularly, for them to understand that they and they alone must make these sacrifices and must participate in the processes that they are dreaming about for within the next 10 years or 20 years, depending on where you are today. I see no reason why we don't have female governors. I know Nkoyo very well. She's my friend. She's a colleague of sort in activism. But I also do know how far she has come. You know, to find herself at a point today where she's actually accepted that she will aspire, and not only that she will aspire, that she does qualify to aspire, and quite honestly, that she's very likely to do a much better job than anybody else have done before her. But as I said, it is an uphill battle, especially for women.
Okay. Back to you, Ms. James. Still talking about mentoring here. How do we catch them young? Because look around you. I was just talking to a young lady a few minutes ago, and she talked about, we look around and find one that we can, you know, say, well, that's my role model. That's the kind of person that I want to mentor me. Are these young people even being pointed in that direction in the first instance?
I think for the very young, we need to look to the educational system. From primary school, young women, young girls, and young men need to be taught about the role structures when they are setting up institutions and clubs and organizations. Those places need to be gender friendly, gender neutral, and so that they learn and instill the principles of gender equity from a young age throughout their educational system and into society. And the more we have role models in politics, in business, you mentioned that the banking MDs today, the more we have those role models, the more this will become the norm.
I'm saying this because in today's world, it's the big brother celebrities, it's the money guys that are more intriguing for our youngsters. And so they skip the process in between. They see the finished products. And so that's who everybody wants to be, because these guys are permit me to say, the 30 billion gang, or whatever they call them these days. And so they don't necessarily want to look to you because, you know, you might not necessarily be wearing the kinds of things that they're interested in, or driving the kinds of cars and living the kind of life, the jet set life. So again, should that responsibility solely be to the educators? Yes, I know that, you know, if you go to school abroad, you have bring your dad to work day, or days that they bring in people that do different things. And so these children can aspire to be one of those. But we don't have that in our systems here yet.
Also a role for the family and society and celebrity culture. But you know, with TikTok and social media and celebrity culture, these things happen in 2-3 minutes, if that. Whereas nation building is a serious issue which needs to be discussed from different perspectives and delved into. So it's not something a celebrity on TikTok can transmit in a 4-second video. These are serious issues that need to be talked about seriously within proper structure and context. It's multi-layered, and everyone has a role to play. Religion has a role to play. Our traditional rulers, our traditional institutions have a very important role to play. For me, as a woman of Henshaw Town, I have a role as a traditional ruler to provide an example to the young girls and women in my society. And even having that position says to those women, here is somebody who has attained this position, and I can do so within a traditional context. So that's important.
Okay, finally, Ms. Briggs, before you go.
I was listening so intently. Let me say this. When I was growing up, and I mean, quite honestly, you can't talk to someone like me without me having to refer back to when I was growing up. I think I'm not exacerbated at this point in my life by what is available to our children and grandchildren at such a young age, because one, I'm in tune with it, and then second, because I have had a background from where I grew up where these exposures were not there and therefore could not have been detrimental. Now, having said that, when you are also growing up, before you even get to go to school, the major role makers or the people you look up to are your parents, are the community, are the society within your immediate surrounding or environment. And so you pick up from there solid behavior, solid way of thinking, of responsibility towards society even, and your role within that society. Now, we lack that today. And so we need to be able for our leaders or people that are aspiring to take up a leadership role, and even people like me who can connect the past and and today, the present, and even the future, because of our past background, have a lot of role to play in making sure that what seems to be missing today, the responsibility growing at a young age of what and who you become in the future is so wrapped around what you have seen. You look at what's happening, you mentioned it. Okay, look at TikTok, which was just something that came up just before the pandemic came. And because of the time that TikTok came, you could see a lot of things. I was horrified. I mean, there is no reason why we cannot use TikTok to drive the process of political process without our young ladies or our young men dragging their trousers all the way down to their thighs, our young women twerking or whatever it is called. You know, so it's not what is available, it's how you use it and the content you create with what is available.
Well, ladies,
Women's Day.
Same to you. Well, thank you all for staying with us as we round off the show today. We're looking at Nigerians as they give their take on the bias that women experience everywhere. And that's on Street View as well. I'm Mary Anacon. I'll see you tomorrow on Plus Politics as we talk for development.
What a man can do better. And in this society that we are now, everybody has their own rights to do what they want. Like, it's good for everybody to have their own right. Like, if you feel like going to school to have your own certificates is okay by you. Like, it's not by force that somebody should tell you you don't have any right to go to school.
All these days, International Women's Day, International Father's Day, International whatever day. How does it reflect into our life in Nigeria? There can never be equality any day, anywhere, not even in Africa, not even in the Western world. But however, having said that, we appreciate our mothers, our sisters. Gender equality in political representative in Nigeria, forget it. Don't forget it.
I feel like they're supposed to be the same as men, because nowadays, because of the way our great-grandfather did and said that they're supposed to be in the kitchen, and because of that, some people, they didn't even send their women to school. Even me, because I'm here, is because of what my dad did. It's women's right. They have right to say they want to go to school. Because me, I didn't go to school because my dad said I'm a lady, that I can't do anything. The only thing that they have to do is for me to get married and go to my husband's house, because they think that it's only the men that are useful. So I don't feel that way. I feel we are equal.
As a woman, I think a woman should go as far as she can, especially in a country where it doesn't give her the space. There's a saying that says that if you train a girl child, you train a nation. So that shows that a lot can be done when we train a girl child. A lot can be achieved when women go further in life. And you can see it in the case of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. We can see it in the case of Chimamanda Adichie. We can see it in the case of our sister Oshoala. So we can see that there are great potentials in women, and if we can help them maximize it, we just need a country that can encourage them.
Do you know any female between the ages of 18 to 25 who is currently unemployed, or an undergraduate who is passionate about technology? Africa Agility is empowering young females between the ages of 18 to 25 with tech skills ranging from
product management,
web development, artificial intelligence, data science, digital marketing, machine learning, blockchain technology, agile, networking, and cybersecurity through partnership with Cisco. Here is your chance to learn these tech skills for free. We offer a variety of instructor-led and self-paced programs, both physical and virtual. To be a part of our programs, join our community using the details on your screen. Africa Agility is slowly reducing the poverty rate in Africa, one girl at a time. To sponsor a female or to donate to this course, visit donate.africaagility.org. Thank you.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamude Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on PlusTvAfrica as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamude Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
Nigeria, by extension, Africa, is faced with a lot of challenges. The growing youth population with little engagement, that is a ticking time bomb.